the way they lead by example, their willingness to help them navigate all the things that they're navigating now, and we will navigate as we strive to get better throughout the course of the season. It's been good. I think our locker room's been really good. Our young players really craved having some veterans around that could help them learn the way. Between DB and Tosh and Sid and Sophie, they've been great. Their communication and their impact on the floor. They're veterans who understand their roles, who come in, who can give us a lift in every area and take a little bit of pressure off of those three.
Did you hear about Damiris Dantas? She's out with a lower leg injury for the Fever's final preseason game against the Dream. But that's not even the biggest story everyone's talking about. Caitlin Clark admitted she got injured because she was playing too hard. Yeah, you read that right. The rookie sensation is already pushing her limits before the regular season even starts, but coach confirms she will play in this final preseason matchup. This game is about to reveal everything about the Fever's championship mindset. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
In not wasting possessions and not wasting practice time and understanding that how you do anything is how you do everything. The communication of not taking it easy or taking a step down in drills.
How do you see Dewana's fire combining with CeCe's fire? Both of them just really want to win that championship. And I know that nothing's been proven yet, but just the fire from both those players.
And them and Sophie, really, all three of them, their competitive spirit, their perfectionist, whether we go from live to like skeleton stuff, to, in-game handling momentum shifts, handling momentum swings, handling the highs and lows. Look, it's early.
There's something you probably don't know about the Fever right now. Everyone's focused on who's playing in this final preseason game against the Dream, but the real story is why they're playing. This goes way deeper than just a routine preseason matchup. So yes, Damiris Dantas is officially out with that lower leg injury. She's the only player actually listed on the injury report right now, but that's just scratching the surface of what's happening with this team. Caitlin Clark dropped a bombshell about her own leg injury that nobody was expecting. She straight up admitted she got hurt because she was playing too hard in practice. Think about that for a second. Most rookies are just trying to survive their first practices, but Clark is going so hard, she's hurting herself. That's not normal rookie behavior. She's pushing boundaries that even veterans don't touch in practice sessions. This tells us everything about who the Fever drafted. They didn't just get a talented player, they got someone who gives 100% effort even when the cameras are off and nobody's watching.
And then last one for me, last year Caitlin just was thrown into the fire straight from, NCAA's, had to get a taste of the WNBA. But now with an off seasons and time to relax and also understand what areas she wanted to get better and what were those emphases for you.
I thought she, throughout the course of the season last year, really adjusted well. Her priority was getting stronger. Getting in the weight room, being stronger, but not just getting stronger, adding muscle. But I think the biggest thing is now knowing what to expect. I say it all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And now understanding what to expect, the ebbs and flows of a game, the season, understanding coverages, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger.
Clark is bringing game day intensity to everyday practices. That's the kind of mentality that transforms franchises. She's not saving her best for the bright lights. She's bringing it every single day. Coach Stephanie White noticed this intensity and started putting limits on Clark in practice. But here's where it gets interesting. She's not shutting Clark down completely. She's still letting her participate despite knowing about the injury concerns. Why would a coach risk her star rookie in practice? Because White understands something crucial about building champions. The Fever aren't being reckless with their #1 pick. They're walking a really fine line between protecting their investment and pushing development. This is calculated. They know exactly what they're doing. Think about all the teams that baby their stars, keeping them in bubble wrap until game day. The Fever are taking a completely different approach. And it's not just Coach White making these decisions alone. The front office is fully invested in this strategy. Amber Cox and Kelly Krauskopf show up to every practice. Not some practices, not most practices, every single one. That's not normal in the WNBA. These executives are hands-on, watching how their championship vision comes together daily.
time under tension, being able to stay in a I always say low man wins, being able to stay in an athletic position, working on stability, balance, all of those things.
Just what are you hoping to get out of today's game, whether it's lineups, rotations?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just continuing to build on our rotations. Continuing to work on different finishes, different cadences in her attacks. Her work with Keith in the off season, they did such an outstanding job together of really building relationship quickly.
The most revealing part, Coach White's decision not to hold anyone out of this game against the Dream. She could easily rest Clark, citing caution with the rookie's leg. But that's not happening. White is building what I call a LeBron mentality here. Championship or bust. The front office knows it. The coaches know it. The players feel it. There's no settling for mediocrity with this group. This approach speaks volumes about their expectations. They're not thinking rebuild. They're not thinking let's be competitive in a few years. They're establishing championship habits from day one, practice one, game one. So despite that leg injury, Caitlin Clark is suiting up for this final preseason game. She's playing through discomfort because that's what champions do. The team isn't throwing caution to the wind. They're making a statement about their identity. They're showing the entire WNBA that this version of the Fever isn't backing down from challenges. You know what this reminds me of? The early days of dynasty teams. Remember when Steph Curry and the Warriors were just coming together? There was this hunger, this refusal to take the easy way out. That's the vibe I'm getting from Indiana right now. They're establishing standards that will carry them through the tough stretches of the season. This final preseason game isn't just another box to check before the real games start. It's a declaration. The Fever are using this moment to shape their team identity. They're showing everyone, including themselves, that they're built differently. When a team's star rookie is pushing so hard in practice that she hurts herself, and the coach's response is to keep her in the lineup rather than shut her down, that tells you everything about their championship mindset. They're creating a culture where excellence is the baseline expectation, not the ceiling. I've seen teams talk about wanting to win. I've heard all the preseason promises and hype, but the Fever are actually showing it through their actions. From Clark's intense practice habits to Coach White's commitment to playing their best lineup, this team is walking the walk. This isn't just about one preseason game anymore. This is about establishing the DNA of a team that refuses to back down. The Fever are sending a message to the entire league before the season even starts. We're coming for everything, and we're not waiting our turn. What we're seeing with the Fever isn't normal for a rebuilding team. They're handling this final preseason game like champions, not rookies. Clark pushing so hard she gets injured in practice, that's different. Coach White letting her play anyway, that's making a statement. Actions speak louder than words in sports. The Fever aren't just saying they want to win. They're showing it by how they approach every practice, every minor injury, every preseason game that doesn't even count in the standings. Pay attention to how this intensity carries into the regular season. We might be watching something special taking shape in Indiana right now.